let go of the past, and manifest the reality you desire. It's time to expand your consciousness and create a new enlightened transformational you by raising your vibrational frequency. We will talk about ETs, light ships, the ascending human, our ascending planet, visitations, and first conscious contact upon our new fifth dimensional Earth. Welcome to Universal Unity, New Earth Consciousness. It's time to activate a better you by embracing the white light of Source. Now your host and universal guide, Joanna L. Ross.
Welcome. This is Joanna from Universal Unity and Universal Light Wisdom and Healing Centers. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have an exciting show today. So stay tuned and buckle up. We're going to go far and wide today. We're reach far out into the cosmos with our multidimensional communication, higher dimensional communication, with how we're going to be perceiving information, how we will be downloading information. And I've got some wonderful images up, and we're going to get to them after we do an introduction today on sacred relationship, and what that sacred relationship means to the ascending human through the ascending human, and what sacred relationship truly allows us to experience and explore as we're entering new dimensional waters within this human experience, within this human transformation, and how it can really allow us to view our entire whole multidimensional self, our divine inner temple of all that we are, as a new being of light, and really create those sacred fields of light, those sacred experiences and potentials and opportunities that each and every being, each and every aspect of creation inputs into this beautiful omni field of consciousness. And so it's really quite incredible how we can imagine this beautiful omni field of love, and we get to experience as much as we so desire, and how limitless and eternal it truly is. And so it's really exciting for us to explore these topics today. So we're going to gift you as much information and wisdom as we can from the beings and the frequencies that are gathering within the etheric chamber. So thank you so much. We've got myriad of beings and consciousness form and consciousness celestial energies and entities with us. And I've been dreaming about light ships the last couple of days. So it's truly incredible and allowing me to open up in new ways. So thank you. And perhaps maybe in my travels to Japan, I will see some new light ships, because I'm sensing there'll be new light ship encounters for me, and the beautiful teams that have been with me all the time and in my neighborhood every night, every morning. And so I'm really excited about the unfolding experiences through these powerful August energies. We'll get started with our reminders and our ascension energies that we're moving through currently. Today is a number 12, and 12 is a very sacred number for me, as all numbers are sacred to me, really, because they all have different meanings and different vibrations. And the reason why I love numbers so much, and how I look at numbers and view them from the gematria perspective, is that every number in and of itself, whether it's a double or triple or quadruple, it doesn't matter how many numbers are in that vibration, but each number has a signature vibration and a signature story. So too as the chakras, so too as every human being, so too as every individual unique soul story and soul threading. And so numbers of today are 1 and 2, which means the spiritual God self, and the God self we like to look at as 0 as God, the representation and the symbol of Mother, Father, God. And that 1 being the individual human aspect that you know yourself to be, and the 2 being the polarity and the duality that we're here to experience and to transcend in so many ways. However, the polarity and the duality, although sometimes it's caused us much challenge and much strife and much difficulty and darkness and limitation. However, each and every one of our lessons, each and every one of our beautified soul aspects, those cells that are illuminated, come from those aspects of learning through, transcending through polarity and duality. So we can truly look back in all that we are, in every relationship we've ever had, on all lifetimes, in all star systems, all particles, all moments, allowing us to see and thread into, allowing ourselves to really truly embrace who we are as divine sacred beings of creative light, creative Christed light. And why all things, regardless of how traumatic or challenging they may appear, all moments are sacred relationship moments. And we can look at this beautiful duality and this transcension of duality and this transcension of truly seeing it in how the ego was to be experienced through a human vessel, was to know that we can see ourselves in all things, and in all things, there we are within the center of it, in union with Divine Mother, Father, God. And it was to allow us that perspective, how we view things, how we see things, how we perceive things in our reality. And that's how the ego allows us to see all things, and how we can manifest through what we see, what we perceive. However, we've had a difficult time with that, and sometimes the ego has gotten a bad rap, we've said in previous shows. However, that's not the case. The ego is required. It's required through the balancing of all that we are as multidimensional beings, and we talk about that, and we will continue to talk about it, because it's transcending us into the higher dimensional bodies that we're now entering into through the Christed light body that we illuminate cell by cell, thought by thought, word by word, deed by deed. And as we balance the physical, as we balance the emotional, as we balance the etheric and the mental bodies, all that we are is a multidimensional being of light in this beautiful divine inner temple of all that you are, in every breath, in every moment, in every way that you choose to perceive any one thing, you can create a sacred relationship with all things. For you are the divine experience of Mother, Father, God, viewing all things, experiencing all things. And so too is every moment your potential to perceive it and be it in sacredness. And that's a profound statement. So if you so choose to listen to that over and over and over again, please do so. Because you are the sacred cell. You are the sacred God seed. You are the sacred experience through which all things are experienced. Through the heart, through the eye of Mother, Father, God. And as we introduced last week, this divine example and perspective that I was shown, the eye of God, through the eye of God, through the eye of God, that I was given in a vision, as I was viewing a beautiful set of bumblebees on my flowers outside. And after I came in to prepare for the show, and I was grounding and I was communing with the universal frequencies and energies, the Divine Heavenly Mother Father gifted me with that image of the eye of God, through the eye of God, through the eye of God, seeing those bees. And they were gifting me from the perspective as if I was seeing through all sets of eyes, to give me the awareness in that one flash moment. And when you open up to your divine God inside, and your God within, and your God seed, and your Christ itself, this is how you can perceive all things. That the eye of you, the eye of your higher self, your soul self, your oversoul self, however many eyes you are entangled with, because you are entangled with an infinite number of eternal eyes viewing you, experiencing creation through you. And how exciting that is. Because oftentimes we have to walk around and think that we're the only ones walking around with, somewhat awareness to what's going on, and we look at the smallest of things. And that was one of my key moments of remembrances of why I awoke, because I was noticing things at a much grander, wider perspective than others around me seemed to look at life. I would look at the smallest of insects, and I would try to understand what was going on in their reality and that reality, and I would look at it in an expanded view, in the most smallest perspective view. And I would always go back to the particle and then expand it out, go back to the particle and expand it out. And I thought about these things in childlike ways, and I would wonder and ponder. And it allowed me to create a relationship with Gaia that has stayed the same, and it's grown, and it's gained value, and it's gained validity through me, through these childlike ponderings in every moment, which is a key attribute to how we create sacred relationship. To be in those moments of childlike wonder with every moment. What's unfolding now? Wow, this is truly wonderful. And look at these energies just coagulating around me. They're just converging. And it's because you're emitting that beautiful childlike energy to play, to get busy, to be creative, to be your most passionate God self. And things just come to you. You just create. You just manifest. You just magnetize. That is your understanding of you being sacred through all moments, sacred through breath, sacred through sound, sacred through your participation in family gatherings, sacred through your understanding about who you are, which is where it begins. Sacred relationship is, dear lighted ones, in these beautiful August energies, and we have a beautiful solar eclipse that's coming up on the 21st. And so if you wish to do invocations and initiations for all that you are as a divine being of light, as a divine temple of light, experiencing God through you, and you're allowing yourself to truly, really get creative and play with these beautiful divine sacred energies and how you can create a sacred life, how you can create sacred relationship, is understanding that sacred essence, the essence of being Christed, the essence of being sacred, begins from within first, always. As within, so without. And as you imbue every moment of all that you are, the moment before you get out of bed and you're awakening for the day, create those divine I am sacred statements that truly create oscillation at a God frequency, a God harmonization, a God resonance within the cells of all that you are. And every moment that you create a high thought form, high vibrational thought form, you create new neural pathways within the brain, creating new patterns of behavior, creating new patterns of beingness, creating new patterns of your state of awareness. Therefore, thus then, creating new cycles of potentiation. Make no mistake about that, dear enlightened ones. And it begins before you get out of bed. You create that sacred intent to be your most highest divine sacred self. And you live through the Godness in all that you are, your eternalness, your isness, your allness. And it comes from your divine sacred center. And we've said that 100 million times, if we'll say it 100 million more. In all that you do, move with your heart. In all that you do, perceive from your heart. In all that you do, speak through your heart. For it's where all love is made manifest. It's where all abundance is made manifest. It's where all magical experiences and majesty are made manifest through you. How Mother, Father, God lived through you, the I through the I through the I. And all eternal aspects of you are along with you, participating, entangling, engaging in this beautiful divine and heavenly dance of quantum entanglement and light evolution through love. Sacred essence is the ability to imbue and to open for love in all moments. You have no idea. You're letting go of expectation on how any moment may unfold, but your intention is to open in love and allow that experience to live through you. And however it unfolds is divinely perfect, and you let the rest go to creation and to the universal orchestration. For all things are perfect in universal orchestration. All are purposeful, all are required, all are divine. And see how you're allowing yourself to live within your divine sacredness, because you just trust it all. You trust your higher self, the I through the I through the I. You trust your soul self. You trust your oversoul of oversouls, and so on and so forth and so on. And the light councils, and the archangels, and the Christed masters. All of the I's, the eternal U's that exist that you are threaded with, the golden threads of creation, your soul threadings, they are, as I have seen, veins, if you will. However, threadings is a much more vibrational word for us. We like to use the word threadings because it's continuous, it's evolutionary, we can do anything with it, it's creative, we can sow ourselves within all things, but they truly look like veins. And the beautiful golden orb that you are, and these infinite number of soul veins and threads that's jetting out from the orb of all that you are, and how you are linked with all things. And when you have an inspiration, and when you have an excitement, and when you have an inner passion, you then go within and you drop to your divine sacred heart center in these beautiful accelerating times. It will be important to create breath and grounding and centeredness. And within that divine sacred breath, you come to a stillness and a peace. And with soft, gentle focus, you allow yourself to create the intention of sacredness in this moment. In whatever relationship you may magnetize, in whatever relationship you may attract. For if you allow yourself to open to love in this way and let go of expectation, then all moments are loving, sacred threadings you are creating within the all. To be threaded back, to be gifted back, to be honored back and embraced to you through those emanations you are opening up to. And your trust, your unconditional trust, is an amplified energy particle. You unconditionally trust, and you're just going to walk forth and play. You're amplifying your energy with these vibrational actions of behavior. You're trusting within all that you are as a divine, sacred God self to act, to walk, to be, to create, to emit, to embellish, to immerse, to emanate. We can define it in an infinite number of ways. Just the soft intention to create sacred relationship. Those threadings begin. That quantum catalyst of that equation begins. And before your foot hits the floor, those quantum particles are moving within the omni-soup of the all, that omnipotent love, that omnipresence that you are sown within, infinite particles of you, infinite eyes of you, infinite hearts of you, beating, just awaiting for your acknowledgement to say, hey, I'm sacred. I'm ready to play in this sacred vibration. Anyone like to play with me? Does anyone like to do sound? Does anyone like to dance and move with spirit in their heart? And you move with sacred intent in this way. And we offer this to you, dear ones. If you allow yourself to be as a child and play and dance and move with wonder and ponder in your hearts, just to open to love, then those sacred threads, those sacred soul threadings will be gifted to you, and opportunities and synchronicities and cues and majesty out of nowhere, illuminating moment for moment for moment for moment. And those patterns that held you so tightly within boxes and confinement and limitation and fear, it's hard for you to imagine what those aspects of worry and fear were anymore, because your vibration is so high, oscillating in a new light field of reality. And it can be created before you step out of bed in the morning. And you have that beautiful, soft communion with Spirit. And you have your hand on your divine sacred heart. And you open in with the purity of your love, just to experience. For in this moment of now, dear divine heavens of creation, I understand the many heavens. I understand there's infinite cycles of evolution. I understand this beautiful human ride to take me on a beautiful journey, to know who I am, to experience all that I am, so that creation may experience the all of me, experience the many myriad eyes of me, so that evolution as a whole may evolve, creation as a whole may evolve through me. And in this, I'm so excited. This is a sacred relationship I now understand. Through sacred breath, through sacred intent, through sacred imagining and creativity, I can imagine all things. And how may I play today, dear divine Mother, Father, God? Live through me, create through me, allow me to experience, to explore. On behalf of you, I am love. On behalf of you, I am God's seed. On behalf of you, I am experience. On behalf of you, I am divinely sacred. And I desire to open up to love and be love. And you take a deep breath. You create that still point where all is released to the omni field. Within your initiation, within your invocation, all is released to creation in that still point, in that void, in that breath. You then ground into the sands and soils of Gaia, and you commune with her very heartbeat, because you also want to be in communion through manifestation of new light fields, of new crystalline experiences, of new crystalline adventures and exploration. It's a continual cycle and momentum of evolution through breath, through sacred intention, through sacred relationship. Not separate from you, dear ones. You ignite it, you infuse it, you be it, you embellish it, and all that you are is love. This is how the divine Heavenly Mother Father lived through us. Sacred relationship, make no mistake about it. However, we are now opening the door to the other half of that quantum equation that we now know we are. Does that make sense, dear ones? We'll put it to you in another way, a visual way. You're looking at a blank piece of paper and there's an equation on the paper. It doesn't matter what the symbols are. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. Part of that equation, the first number will say they're numbers. And part of that number or symbol is a Vesica Pisces. And that Vesica Pisces is the divine Mother, Father, God. In that, there's then a plus sign. there is a sign that says Mother, Father, God plus. That second part of the equation is you. You give yourself whatever symbol you want, a beautiful sun, an infinity symbol, a beautiful butterfly, whatever symbol you want that equates to you, your wholeness. The equal sign is pure divine love, sacred relationship. However, for eons in human form, we have forgotten that we are part of that equation. That was left empty and void. For we forgot we were there. We forgot we were a part of this equation. We forgot that through breath we can ignite. We forgot that through breath we can infuse. We forgot that we can infuse our creativity and our imagination through every breath. Thus, therefore, igniting sacred relationship in all things. For we understand that there are sacred encodings in breath. So if we do understand there are sacred encodings in breath, and there are, we can then go within and create from our imagination and our creative toolkit, which is infinite, eternal. And I can say, I'm going to infuse some color and sound in this breath. And I'm going to create a new sacred moment of me. And this is how we create tonal alchemy. And we're giving you tones and vibrations and numbers and symbols so that you may visualize in an infinite number of ways how you are threaded through every equation. And you create the sacredness from within. It can be sacred silent relationship. Your relationship with silence is so very key in evolution. When you hear the vibration of God through silence, it is the most sacred experience you will ever create for yourself. For within silence, there is all things, awaiting your potential to breathe it in. Create a void, create intention, create colorful infusions, create colorful creative sounds. And you flow in a beautiful sacred threading of golden light. For in all things you are. For in all that is sacred you are. And how have we viewed ourselves this way, dear lighted ones? And we can shift our perspective from the everyday life that we have lived. And we can create a new field of play, a light field of quantum potential, gifted through our divine open hearts just to experience love, just to be love, just to experience ourselves as loving beings of light, ever evolving, ever changing and exploring and experiencing. And we create the intention to allow ourselves in any one moment, through our consciousness awareness, to create a sacred moment of self-love, to create a sacred moment of self-honor, to create a sacred moment where we truly embrace our humanness. The relationship we have to being human is sacred. And have you gifted yourself this perspective, dear lighted ones? And the divine sacred relationship that Gaia has with you. And her part of the equation has always been there in sacredness. And we forgot our part in the equation. And through the reciprocal breath, gifting back to her your illuminated version of you, your illuminated sacred intent of you, your illuminated eternalness and isness of you, through reciprocal breath, through your God-sacred breath, through your God-sacred intent. Do you see how easy it can be to flow and gift back to creation through breath, through your sacred intent? And in your constant gifting and receiving, it will always be returned and responded to in kind, to whatever is the highest potentiality for you in any given moment, and whatever your vibration resonates at in any given moment. And so if you choose to perceive yourself from a sacred perspective in any given moment, then you know that with universal laws, all will be returned in kind in that way. For you are infinite, you are eternal, you are God's seed, you are sacred, you are loving, you are Christed. There's no stopping you, dear one. Nothing holding you back now. It's safe for you to be seen and heard and felt and known by creation. And your sacred relationship is within all things. It's within breath. It's within your relationship of what you intake in your bodily nourishment. You can create sacred nourishment with your water, with your food, sitting in communion with your family, doing household chores. How may you create, as we've talked about before, sacred play, threading and sewing sacred intent? To be aware of the higher dimensional perspective that you can take in any one moment, in any one unfolding, in any one experience. What is the relationship and how may it be sacred in this unfolding? And we'll thread an experience. You're having a challenge with a particular being that's a soul reflection for you so that you may transcend and move beyond self-limitation and lack of, whatever that soul theme may be. And this experience has been manifested by the soul, by the Akash, in union, so that you may see yourself from a higher perspective. And you may go within and say, I'm creating sacred love within myself because I understand I'm evolving and I can move through this. I got this. I'm a master of light. I am a divine temple of light. And so in that moment, before responding and reacting to accusations that had come from an infinite number of experiences and an infinite number of timelines and threadings that both of you have with one another, aspects of you seeing through you, experiencing through you, reflecting to you, and you take that sacred breath. We're all love and we're all light and we're all things that are sacred are gifted to you in breath. And you come to a stillness and a centered peace. And before reacting and before speaking, you create that presence of being with Divine Mother, Father, God, that sacred union, that sacred relationship, always spiraling, always soft, always elegant, and unconditional. And you allow yourself in the moment so that that person's voice may be heard, so that you may allow that person to speak one's truth. And you allow compassion to fill your heart, for you understand that there are aspects of you that you've walked a mile in all people's shoes, and all beings' shoes, and all experiences, so that you may see from the advantage point that you're offering yourself in this moment of now, this moment of mastery, transcending all other moments, so that you may click with creation to say, wow, I get this. I can create sacredness in all moments, regardless of how any other thing, any other circumstance or situation may be behaving around you. You can create sacred centeredness, sacred wholeness, sacred love as you commune and dance in the divine entanglement with Mother, Father, God, and gift compassion and gift love. Immediately you are shown the higher perspective of why this situation has unfolded, to show you what it needed to show you, to gift you what it needed to gift you, to empower you the way it needed to empower you, so that you may create a sacred relationship with you. For do you understand, dear lighted ones, that as you create sacred relationship within, it is sown without in all ways. And in that moment where tensions arise and things are said and done, and you come to a state of peace, and you offer love and compassion and forgiveness anyways, and love anyways, you are threaded into that sacred relationship of the all, those heightened frequencies of sacred mastery. And you allow yourself to see for the first time that you are a sacred master beyond all imagining. And you've threaded yourself anew. You've threaded yourself in new ways. You've threaded yourself to heightened frequencies of potential. For you see in those sacred moments of creation, it's you allowing you to see you, to forgive you, to love you, to embrace you, to listen to you, to nourish you. For all moments are sacred moments to gift yourself what you need, dear lighted ones. For have you allowed yourself a moment of peace? When you're so stuck in the mind and you're spiraling in circles and you're not knowing which direction to go, what choice to create, you think there are no options, then you create silence and peace. And that moment that you open up to sacred intent, the divine heavenly Mother, Father, God, those soft heavenly whispers offer to you this wisdom. Dear divine heavenly God seed, you are the sacred intent. You are sacred experience. You are us and we are you. Do you see how sacred this is, dear ones? That Mother, Father, God experience you and create sacred intent, for you are here, are you not? You are breathed through adoration. You are breathed through unconditional love. You are breathed through unconditional compassion and forgiveness and gentleness and kindness and opportunity, for we are gifted all things and nothing is asked of us. You are the sacred experience of Mother, Father, God. And as every moment unfolds to you in your reality, you are the Mother, Father, God of all that unfolds through you. And in that moment, you can have that Mother, Father, God sacred relationship, and you can align yourself with the highest intent, and it will flow through you. And all things will be gifted in perfect, divine manner through you. Because you are a divine relationship of sacred intent. And if you allow yourself to move fluidity through this infinity cycle, to see yourself as the divine partnership of Mother, Father, God, which you are, and how Mother, Father, God experience sacred relationship through you. It's how you were breathed, it's how you were created, it's how you were incarnated in every lifetime. And so too, holographically, is every experience that unfolds to you. For you are the eyes of God. The divine sacred heart is the eye of God. These are heavenly wisdoms that we gift to you today, dear ones, to take you just a little farther and deeper and wider in who you are. So that in any moment that you may ask who you are and what exists within, that you understand with every cell and every fiber of your being that it is the most sacred relationship. You are all things are you. And how may you embrace and love it all? This is how you create. You are a quantum master of light. Thank you, divine lighted ones. And as I'm moving upon my journey of my own self-exploration and my own sacred intent to have that sacred relationship with all things and all beings and all aspects of myself, and every morning that I get ready and every morning that I get my kids ready, I am constantly reminding myself of this sacred relationship that already is. It's innate, it's organic, it's natural. And that's how we repattern. That's how we create those new neural pathways within our brain, within the egoic patternings. And we ignite new light patterns of behavior. We ignite new light patterns of higher thought form. We ignite new higher patterns of thought emanations, of encodations, of vibrations, of sacred geometry. For all things exist right now that are beyond what we can see. A thought form is sacred geometry, is sacred encodations. Light language, our sacred encodations, light language, sacred geometry. It's consciousness interacting with consciousness, and this, my friends, is sacred relationship. And you ignite it, you infuse it, you color it, you dance with it, you move with it, you create sound with it. And as you do, you understand yourself to be a part of this sacred relationship. You feel yourself as the golden thread. You feel yourself as that golden orb of creation, that Mother, Father, God perspective. And you see all things in a sacred, beautiful way, serving you, reflecting to you, gifting to you. And the infinity cycle comes and moves through you as you gift it back. The Mother, Father, God seeing through you, seeing love, experiencing your creative gifts and your skills and your imaginings. Your sacred relationship is in all things. And we create through that. And this will work wonders for those of you that are healers and light workers. And those of you that place your loving energy and you guide energy and you direct energy to your clients and your patients. For you can infuse sacred intent and open the divine sacred heart of all that you are and allow the divine of all that is to live through you so that you may perceive yourself as a conduit, as a vessel, as a light sacred master, to have information live through you, to have the healing vibrations live through you. And you are merely guiding, you are merely the conduit. You are merely the one that directs and massages and molds and ignites color and sound and loving vibrations and that loving listening ear that your clients need and require of you, and understanding and compassion. For have you allowed yourself to understand that creation is living through you? You're not in this human ride by yourself. You have all of creation at your back. In the moment that you open up your divine sacred heart and allow and acknowledge that God lives through you, infinite potentials arise. Because you're opening the door and saying, Mother, Father, God, I acknowledge you're within. I surrender. Unconditionally, I surrender. Show me the way. And creation lives through you. And whatever excitement, whatever passion, whatever creativity you can imagine, and it's flowing through your divine sacred heart. And that's why we say, oftentimes the heart of God is at the back, because the infinity cycle can be viewed as a beautiful lotus flower in parallel to the ground. And so it's this petal opens up. Every petal that you love, every petal that you gift, every petal that you give compassion, you're gifting these aspects of you. The petals are you, gifting it to you. So why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we forgive? That petal is going to open up and it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel lighter. You're going to illuminate new cells. You're going to create healing inside your organs and your vessel. You're going to let go of limitation and all those dark aspects that were keeping you in fear, keeping you from acting on your passion and holding you back. So why wouldn't we gift ourselves sacred relationship with all beings, with all aspects of life? For that petal is us. That emotion is us. That physical healing is us. That heart healing is us. And we give time, and we give our care, and we give our love, and we infuse a golden thread of sacred intent. And then we sew it through with Gaia, and we say, here, Gaia, here's part of my sacred intent in this moment of now, because as I breathe, I'm including you in this transmission. And here you go, rock consciousness, and the consciousness of Gaia. And here you go, the beautiful elementals and the fairies. And here you go, beautiful children from Sirius. And you see these golden threads are threading in and out of your fields of vibration. And just like Mother, Father, God sewing a beautiful thread in a beautiful blanket of creation, each and every beautiful thought that you intend and sewing yourself within, these soul threads expand through all things with your beautiful loving intent. And as you view it moving through your divine sacred heart, all things are possible. We've taken you far and wide today, dear ones, for today is a special show. Today is number 84. And If we reverse this number, it's 48. Today also equals the number 12, and today is the 12. And 12 is a very high vibrational number for me. And it has many beautiful symbolic meanings for me, and it also equates to the number 3. And 48 is exactly how old I am. And I'm going to be gone for 12 days in Japan, and it will be a 12-day sacred trip for myself. And there's a myriad of vibrations that run through these energies of today in our number 84 show, and 48 and 12 and 3. And all of these vibrations spiral through us in these sacred threadings and these sacred intentions that we place within numbers, these sacred intentions that we place within the musings and the childlike wonder and play that we create and allow to live through us once again, and to embrace all that we are. Because to create that essence of sacred essence and how you feel sacred, when oftentimes some of us may not feel sacred because we're still moving through and letting go of all the limitations of our old perspectives of ourselves, the more that you go in and create limitless perspective of who you are. Remember those 3 ascension questions. Who are you? What do you exist within? And what exists within you? As you do so, you're rebalancing the multidimensional body of all that you are: physical, mental, emotional, and etheric. You move within those structures of light, those structures as ever-evolution energy fields of all that you are, and you create infinite, limitless perspectives of you. This is your Christed perspective. It's multidimensional, it's creative, it's divine, it's loving, it's radiant. It's infinitely, infinitely sacred because it's sown through all things. Your soul threads are in all things. You can gift yourself a wisdom. You can gift yourself a skill. You can gift yourself a beautiful lightship creation. For all things are you. All things are living through you. If you so desire to see yourself in this way, it's always free will. You may choose in any moment to be sacred and eternal in your perspective. And as you get ready in the morning, see yourself as a divine sacred child that has the potential to thread yourself in sacred ways through all things. Whether it's a coffee barista exchange, whether it's getting groceries, whether you're going to work with all of your coworkers, or moving through traffic. However you move through your experience, create sacred relationship prior. Moment for moment for moment for moment before you get out of bed. Set the stage, set the frequency, create the intentional light field of soft, open expectation, unconditional love, sacred communion, sacred relationship, for you understand that you are in all things. This is the relationship between you and you. Your God self and the one that exists right now that thinks you're not God. Every moment for moment for moment, you're awakening to your God self, your Christed self, your eternal self, your limitless self, the God of the God of the God. And this is what every master came forward to teach. And you're shifting yourself from moment for moment for moment, ever illuminated, ever sacred mastery. And thread it. Create, dance, play. For you are within all things. Thank you, dear Light Ones, for allowing us to explore sacred relationship. And as I move about Gaia, and as I move about my personal path, I'm ever opened up to new potentials of experience, new potentials of divine visionary concepts that my teams and the consciousness of all gift me, because there's many beings that work through me in any given moment. And oftentimes they come so quickly that I'm not necessarily gifted who they're from. It's just the co-creative field, if you will. And oftentimes it's from me. The higher aspects of me and the eternal aspects of me, oftentimes, because I'm in all things, are showing me what I need to experience or to see so that I may explain the story, so that I may explain the parable, so that I may explain the divine energetic vibration through you. For we always prepare the field before this radio podcast goes live. We prepare the field for all listeners in this now moment and all future now moments. For you may listen to this 100 times, and if you do so, there will be different vibrations gifted in every moment. For all moments are now. You are ever creating yourself anew in every moment. You create your new consciousness, awareness. You create your new intent. You create your new physical body. You create new physical potentials. Every moment for moment for moment for moment, you're creating anew. If you perceive yourself as this eternal, as this profound, as this limitless aspect of God's source, sacred in all things, sowing yourself sacredly through all things, for you understand it's all things are threading through you, as Mother, Father, God showed us, then how may you create? This is how we create, dear lighted ones. With quantum aspirations of being light, of being love. And we return in reciprocation, for we understand that we are part of this sacred relationship. We are a part of this engagement. We are a part of this equation. We are allowing ourselves to claim our Christed birthright, to be a part of this creative, evolutionary dance. Are you ready? There are those of you sitting in your chairs, sitting upon Gaia, or walking, doing chores, listening to this. In the divine heavenly hierarchies within the chambers, move through me in this moment to ask you, dear lighted ones, now that you understand how sacred relationship is threaded through you, now that you understand that you create all essences of sacredness, now that you understand that you create all color and all sound and all abundance by your mere allowance and acknowledgement of it as you, will you claim your divine birthright to be a part of this engagement, to be a part of this sacred dance, to be a part of this sacred ritual and ceremony that is eternal and never-ending? For this ceremony is through the omnipresence, the omni-field of all that is, consciousness in every way, experiences setting themselves up for the next experience based on your moment of love right now. And will you engage with us in this sacred dance? Dear divine human, heavenly brethren, there have been many magical openings, dear lighted ones. And this I am feeling is an offering from the beautiful intergalactic and interstellar families and the heavenly hierarchies as a beautiful sacred doorway for you to create through me. And allowing yourself to see and visualize and create a sacred doorway or an altar space of your own and sacred pillars of your own in however way you choose to create it for yourself over the coming weeks. And in your moments of silence and solace, take those questions in and allow them to be held dear at your divine sacred heart. For they are the divine offerings to you, to allow yourself a heightened perspective and a vast perspective of all that you are. And how you move about this dance in this all eternalness with a new vibration, with a new sway and swagger. And how you let go and surrender and flow. And you allow yourself to be nourished emotionally and physically and etherically and mentally. And you give yourself the nurturance and love and adoration that you desire, that you're worthy of, that you require. And your engagement, your acknowledgement, your embrace to own this and make it you and make it real and make it whole begins that quantum interaction, begins that quantum dance, that song, that experience, that light field, that dimensional portal that takes you into transcendence. How we have been a divine soul tribe for us to create such vibrations of wisdom and insight from within us, dear ones. For we offer you reflections of you, We offer you reflections and vibrations from our very heart. For we sense them in the energy fields, and they are you. For I am you, and you are me. And in each moment, the Divine Heavenly Mother Father offer us all things, so that we may be reminded how divinely loved and sacred we are, and how we are a part of this threading and this equation and this relationship, if we so choose. Thank you, dear lighted ones. Wow, profound energies. And my divine heart blessings to each and every one of you for joining us today in this very special show, in this very sacred show, for allowing us to be divinely sewn together in a new sacred way. New vibrations are created in this moment as the heavenly hierarchies and our celestial teams and the beautiful energies and consciousness from all over the universe and the omniverse for these very special and very profound human stories unfolding in this next month and a half. And the vibrations and the undercurrents that are showing us in every way that we can choose eternal perspectives of light of ourselves and through ourselves. And this is how we can create anew. This is how we break through and break free into new frequencies of experience and new reality experiences that truly allow you to wake up in the next moment and feel as if you are on a new reality, because you are. Because you've allowed yourself to create cellularly, quantumly through love. Love will create in all ways. So see yourself, imbue yourself, thread yourself, sew yourself, open up, and claim this vibration of love for yourself. And there is nothing that you cannot create, or be, or do, or experience. And this I know to be true. Divine and heavenly, sacred soul tribe. Thank you, dear lighted ones. So we're just about to take a break, and we divinely and most sacredly offer you the invitation to come back after the break so that we can move within our next topic, which is higher dimensional communications. We're going to talk about glyphs. We're going to talk about higher dimensional symbols, and we're going to go to our Universal Unity Facebook page, and Tina's got up the link there for beautiful glyphs and crop circles so that we can allow ourselves to move within this sacred relationship of consciousness communication. And these glyphs, experiences in this way, engagements in this way, is consciousness speaking to us. And so we're going to move within this sacred communication and really end this show with the powerful vibration of our communication abilities. So tune in after the break.
You've been listening to Universal Unity, New Earth Consciousness with Joanna L. Ross. Live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. To explore, empower, understand, inspire, and further connect with this higher state of consciousness, please visit universalunity.ca. For more information on the host, Joanna L. Ross, please visit her KCOR Digital Radio Network show page, Universal Unity, New Earth Consciousness. This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network. Broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51. Wait, that doesn't exist. This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news. Let go of the past and manifest the reality you desire. It's time to expand your consciousness and create a new enlightened transformational you by raising your vibrational frequency. We will talk about ETs, light ships, the ascending human, our ascending planet, visitations, and first conscious contact upon our new fifth dimensional Earth. Welcome to Universal Unity, New Earth Consciousness. It's time to activate a better you by embracing the white light of Source. Now your host and universal guide, Joanna L. Ross.
Thank you for tuning in, and welcome back. What a show. Wow. We're going to get busy, and we've got a lot of information to go through yet still, because my team is just downloading me from the etheric chamber why we talked about sacred relationship, and if you can view yourself in a mirror. And this is going to help out where we're going next, because this story is much grander than I thought. And so I'm learning something as I'm saying this. Imagine yourself in front of a mirror, and how you view yourself in every moment is your higher consciousness of the higher self of you creating that version of you. And you can choose to create it quantumly however you desire. If we take ourselves to a higher consciousness state perspective, we're putting as we talked about in a few shows, we're the alchemist, if you will, that scientist that's putting the matter into place, the spiritual matter into place. It's putting what's required chemistry-wise into place, all of the elements, if you will. You are the alchemist putting these things into place on how you desire to see yourself, how you desire to infuse who you are in any given moment. You create the quantum matter that you see yourself as. And this is profound, because I'm learning as you're learning, just as I'm saying this. So you view yourself in the mirror, and you're creating every aspect that you view. That's how the God creates God through God, the eye of God, and the eye of God. So we're saying this because the idea of how you view yourself begins, the idea of creating sacred relationship begins on how you perceive yourself, how you create yourself to be, how you infuse with love, how you infuse yourself with self-love and self-appreciation and self-honor and self-embrace. Creating that sacredness within yourself first. Quantumly creating those pathways of quantum potentiality. You're the quantum alchemist, putting the particles and the elements and the fibers and the thought threads and the higher vibrational thought forms and creative imaginings. That's how you create the body that you see in the mirror. You're quantumly creating the visual package that you see every moment. This is your sacred relationship with you. This is the God you creating you in every moment. The Mother, Father, God creating, living through you. So why not? How have we created ourselves previously so that we can see ourselves in this perspective? From the highest vantage point possible, the most eternal, limitless vantage point of our God perspective, eternal and limitless, all things are possible. We can bring in the elements that we need. We can bring in the fiery interaction of fire and water and wind and air and earth and sand and soil and rock. Whatever it is that we need. We are the alchemists. We are the masters. We are the wizards. These quantum relationships, it's quantum sacred play. It's quantum sacred benevolence with creation to be your God, Christed self, to see and experience and communicate energetically in all ways, quantumly. We're preparing the field for you, if you will, because right now we're going to go into what we call sacred communication. And when I'm communing with the chambers and they're downloading me information and I see visions and I see pictures of what's going on, I put it into words as best I can. But oftentimes we don't have words for what I see, and I put it into the parables and stories that I can. And so through this, I do a lot of drawing, and I have journals where I draw what I see, and I draw, and I'm creating the workshops in Japan. Most of it is through the drawings of what I'm gifted and what I'm understanding from all of the work that I've done and all the readings I've done and all of the beautiful people that have assisted me. And I'm putting all of these informations and wisdoms so that I can create what it looks like and feels like energetically, because all things are energetic movement. You're moment for moment for moment, you're alchemically shifting. You are the alchemic master that's shifting energy to a more illuminated state. How you do that is unique to you, but there is a flow. There will always be a flow. However, we just haven't allowed that flow. We haven't accepted it. We haven't allowed it or acknowledged it or embraced it or surrendered into it. Just let it go and flow. You create this quantum equation of how you look, of how you feel, of how you create, of how you illuminate. You're seeing yourself in the mirror and you can say, well, wow, I see a beautiful smile and it's emanating from this divine sacred heart of all that I am. I'm creating this sacred relationship with the mirror, and wow, this mirror is really flowing with me. Look at me. That's a sacred relationship. That's a sacred moment of breath, of love, of infusion, of creativity, of what you see. We then go to how humanity is evolving into higher frequencies of light, higher frequencies of dimensional play. And we've often said before that how we communicate with our refined bodies and our refined vessels and sensory systems, we will be receiving communication, as Joanna has in this moment, to receive a picture or a vision and to discern it and decipher it for oneself. And this is how it should be. For no one should take any other's interpretation for anything but thyself. And why going within and knowing thyself is so very key. Because you are here to interpret your view, your perspective, your sacred relationship with all things in your own unique way. How you view it and perceive it and discern it and then gift it back out to creation is how evolution, the all, evolves. Because you're continually gifting your own interpretation. You're gifting your own perspective. You're gifting your own creative intuitiveness. You're gifting your own creative expression of what that moment meant for you, of what that experience meant for you. I get one vision and I offer it back to you as a reciprocal flow of that divine energy so that that cycle continues, that evolutionary cycle continues. This is my vision. This is my interpretation. Here you go. What do you think? That's how we evolve as a human family. The divine heavenly hierarchies will never stop gifting us because that's creation. That's the all. That's unconditional. The all is always gifted to us. It's up to us to attune and open to it and let it go and flow with it. I was gifted, if you go to our Joanna Universal Unity Facebook page, and Tina has the link up, and on the first post there, if you go down, there's a first post there, and it says these are the images for our show today. And the very first image there, you'll see is a crop circle of a beautiful circle in a circle. It's a Vesica Pisces. And within that center is the orb, if you will. And we call that orb, this is my own interpretation, my own discernments, and anybody can discern it in their own ways, and it's supposed to be that way and unique. If you flip this image one rotation, and so that it's a Vesica Pisces facing you, and that orb is in the very middle, you'll see in the next couple of images it's very similar to my own glyphs and what I was gifted in my own visions. But this is a crop circle, and I got these photos from Crop Circle Connector, which is a website that has traditionally been very their information is valid and valuable. And so Crop Circle Connector is the website that I always go to for my crop circle images and glyphs. And this one glyph, to me, if we turn it to the side, to me, it's the image of the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, and those hands, the hands that are holding it, and that divine image in the very middle is us, is the Divine God Child. That God Child, this glyph can be shown to any star system in creation, and this glyph could be viewed in an infinite number of ways, but the Vesica Pisces and us in the middle is that balance and that harmony, and that being unconditionally loved and protected and guided and supported in every way, and we are in the middle of that. And that balance of the divine male frequency, that balance of the divine female frequency, and all the worlds that we create around us, and all the beautiful spirals and all the beautiful glyphs and the segments of information around us are created with this beautiful interpretation of who we are as one. And that communication glyph, it's a higher dimensional communication, and there's thought forms, there's encodations, there's consciousness within that one glyph that each and every one of you will interpret something different and show it should be. And so if we go to the next piece of information, the sacred relationship that we are building with higher dimensional encodings, higher dimensional communication. Let me go back here. Is a glyph, glyphs and symbols that were left on my driveway a beautiful morning in, I think it was the end of July 28th, actually. And so it was just about a year ago that these glyphs were left on my driveway. And you can see the Vesica Pisces, and you can see the various symbols and the various stories for me, energetic stories for me. The crop circles and the glyphs are consciousness communications. The outcome, it's the manifestation of consciousness interacting with one another. That's what glyphs and crop circles are. It's consciousness interacting with one another. Stories manifested right in front of us. Dimensional communications manifested right in front of us. That's what this is. That's what glyphs are. That's what crop circles are. It's consciousness communicating and put into manifested form. That's how we create. Just as if what the divine hierarchies are now showing me again is you in front of the mirror. How you create yourself is consciousness equating itself with one another, communicating with one another. The elements and the matter and your imbuing of love and your imbuing of your sacred engagement, all of those things is how you create you. how you perceive you, how you, how you experience your next moment, and how the world and creation moves through you, and God moves through you. It's always a cycle of energy, always a cycle of quantum communication. So these glyphs are very similar to that last picture of that crop circle, that Vesica Pisces, and that balance within the middle. You have the divine mother frequencies of compassion and love. You have the divine father frequencies of divine will, of creating, divine intelligence, and you merge those two together, and in that, the adoration of you is breathed. That beautiful sacred relationship. That Vesica Pisces is sacred relationship. Make no mistake about it. And why? All things that are manifest are the conjoining of one or two things through sacred, loving intent. And how profound that is, dear lighted ones. We had no idea where these conversations were going to go today. We were inspired and infused and ignited by visions to gift you these images so that we may have a creative dialogue between the soul family and soul tribes that are ready. To see how you may create sacred relationship and sacred communication in all things, for it is already. And will you engage in this dance? To know that there are glyphs left on your windows when you come out of the shower or the mirrors. There are glyphs left on anything that creates water and material condensation. There are glyphs left on fields and paddocks. There are higher dimensional correspondence and communications that can't be seen. But you can tune into them and you can hear them. And Joanna will give you an experience of that in a moment. But we want to allow you to be threaded with this sacred relationship. The Vesica Pisces is sacred relationship. Divine heavenly love. And you're right in the middle of it. Does that make sense, dear lighted ones? And how the divine sacred heart, right in the middle of you, and how you thread that golden thread through the center of that Vesica Pisces is how you create all things. Is how you create all things. Is how you experience all love. We could do an entire workshop on this information. The next image is when I was in Hawaii, beautiful Hawaii, inspired by the beautiful land and sacred land and energies of Hawaii. Thank you, beautiful Gaia, for offering the sacred intentions and the sacred communication that we have with one another. Thank you. And the beautiful divine heavenly hierarchies are allowing us to understand that. I was gifted this symbol in a meditation one day, and it was showing me what the intergalactic symbol for peace was. And you can see that on one side is the dark. It actually shows up, this should be black, not purple, but I only had a purple marker, so I colored it purple. That was my interpretation at the time. But how I saw it was black. And the circle, the sphere in the middle, is black. And how this meant for me was the union of the two hands embodying us, caring for us, supporting us, guiding us. You'll always be caught. You'll always be guided. You're always supported. You're always gifted. You're the God seed child. That sphere in the middle is can be interpreted as anything, because this in particular, this specific glyph was gifted by the interstellar galactic star council. And we are being inducted into the interstellar councils as Earth as a community, as a planet, is being inducted. And so this first glyph that they offered us is this symbol of peace. And as I was downloaded this symbol, it was gifting me with all of these different interpretations that these different planets and these different councils and beings had gifted into what their interpretation was. Do you see what we're saying here, dear ones? And we said this a few weeks ago. That the interpretation of this communication, the interpretation of glyphs, the interpretation of sacred geometry, the interpretation of how you intend and infuse and create is how evolution occurs. It's the undercurrent. And why it is so very important, and this is a profound statement, so we take a pause. In any given moment, dear lighted ones, regardless of what is spiraling around you, you can create light fields of love and potentiation beyond your imagining. And how may you create and dance upon those fields? You create through your sacred relationship of it. Through it, it is you. The divine communicating with you and through you and to you in every way. And your intent to be sown with it, your intent to communicate with it and through it and to it, and color it and shape it and sound it. And as we're staring at this beautiful intergalactic language of light, this is light language, and this is how I was gifted my own unique light language in my meditation. And I came up with my own symbolism and interpretation for this symbol. After I was downloaded all of the other interpretations, just a few, I wasn't downloaded all of them, because there was many more than I could probably create awareness for at that time. But my own interpretation was very similar to the first crop circle that we saw. The hands encompassing, and the color, the black, means form to me. It means physical matter. It means the density aspect of it, how we create ourselves in density and physicality and matter. That's the quantum alchemist in me. That's the geneticist in me coming forward that I've come here to portray and explain. And that sphere is creation matter, how we create matter, how we create worlds, how we create stars, how we create moons, how we create suns, how we create whatever it is that matter, that Mother, Father, God create. This peace symbol is all things are required to create and love and imbue. And those two hands holding one another, the matter hand with the spiritual intent love hand. And we are the God seed within it, as we were created from it. Because we are it. You can take this in an infinite number of interpretations, and it's meant to be. It can mean whatever you want. But it's all inclusive of the God, and the God is the circle, is the encompassing all things. And all things are held within God, and God in all things. And you can go back and forth in an infinite number of ways, because it's always an eternal cycle of creation. And you create your sacred infusion within it, of it, through it. Begin, create, start, dance, laugh, be in joy. And I personally saw the hands of Mother, Father, God on both sides. Is that divine love, that divine unconditional love and compassion, and the divine will to create. And those hands holding one another, and the divine God seed of which I am in the very middle. The human family in the very middle. The Gaia planet in the very middle. And we can go on out farther and farther and farther to the omniverse. It doesn't matter how you look at this symbol, because you can take it from a particle perspective, quantum perspective, and you can expand it to the omniverse. Because remember, we are holographic. You are eternal, you are limitless. You are the quantum alchemist to create loving matter. But it may be done in peace and reverence and benevolence. And why we are always supported through our free will. Even when we create choices that appear to be challenging and filled with strife, creation will support us. It doesn't have to be. You can illuminate yourself. You can expand what you perceive to be true about who you are. You can perceive expanded frequencies of communication in every moment. As you open yourself up to being and creating sacred relationship, it includes all things. All things are created in this way. The sacred connection between one element with another, with the infusion of love and spirit. And there it is. That's how you see yourself. That's how you create the hands that you're holding, the chair that you're sitting on, the computer you're viewing. It's a sacred relationship. It's a sacred communication between you and spirit, between all that is, to show you what you need to see, so that you may hear what you need to hear and be what you need to be. Do you see how there are shiftings and undercurrents in our offerings today, dear lighted ones? Like the gates of heavens are opened up, and they're assisting us to step up to what we already know is within. And as I come back from Japan, I will be bringing these symbols and glyphs into our workshop of the Divine Inner Temple of Light, as we see ourselves and act as and engage ourselves as the sacred Divine Inner Temple of Light that we are. And in Japan, I will be offering the Divine Inner Temple of Light workshop for the very first time. And it will include many of all of these things we've been talking about on our weekly radio shows. And we're very excited and blessed to offer it to Japan first. So anybody that wants to book a vacation and head over to Japan over the next couple of weeks, I will be there, and you'll get to take in these energies in person. You'll get to flow and swim with these energies in person. And I will be offering these glyphs when I return, and we're creating a workshop here in North America for those who so desire to swim with these frequencies of higher dimensional communication and health and wellness as we step up to our higher dimensional communications. Thank you. And if we go to the next picture, we look at my own interpretation of this crop circle, and this is the hummingbird. And these pictures, I'll tell you that the pictures that I gathered for this Facebook posting was done only minutes before the show. And so they're really synchronistic. And I looked at them, I saw them, it meant something, I was inspired, excited, so I put them in the post. And so these analogies and these parables and these stories are these energetic threadings that are sacred communication for today's offering. And I'm always engaged very sacredly with Gaia and with her offerings and with creation and her loving nature. And this is an interpretation of the hummingbird to me, which is symbolic for messenger. And we see the Vesica Pisces, that this hummingbird is moving through the central symbolism of this Vesica Pisces. And then there's another Vesica Pisces underneath the first Vesica Pisces. And we can see the quantum holographic imagery. We can see the quantum holographic symbolism. We can see the idea of this earthly, beautiful human experience and sacred relationship that we have with quantum dynamic communications, glyphs, crop circles, consciousness interacting with consciousness, humanity, our collective humanity, communicating with higher dimensional consciousness creates a crop circle. Our desires, our thought imprints, our thought forms, that's consciousness. Our desires and our excitements and our emotions, that's consciousness. All of these aspects of consciousness create what we're seeing right now, right here. And tomorrow, you'll have a different interpretation of this one symbol because you would have grown, you would have sown new soul threads, you would have opened your eyes, you would have gone into a sleep or a meditation and allowed yourself to dance with the divine one more time. And you expand and you soul thread yourself in a myriad of ways. And passion just exudes from you. Your sacred communion with all things begins, and you understand the representation of messages in all things. And you just want to dance. You get excited. Where's the next one? Where's the next image? I'm remembering things here. Things are being activated within me. I can remember how to move my hands and create sound with that symbol. I can then envision color moving through that symbol as mandalas are used for healing. And again, all of this will be brought forward in the workshops in Japan, but we're gifting you these as examples of how we create sacred relationship. It's already happening. You're just becoming aware of it. You're acknowledging it. You're claiming it, as the Divine Heavenly Hierarchy said and offered to us. Will you allow yourself to acknowledge and claim that this is how sacred relationship is? When you open your heart to the Divine Mother, Father, God, and you say, I'm ready, I surrender. Mother, Father, God, live through me. I'm ready. I desire to feel again. I desire to feel unity and sacredness again. I'm worthy. I'm ready. I'm ready for the majesty that may behold in every moment, gifted from you, by you. I'm ready. And how may I create today? And you walk forward with no expectation, but just like in childlike wonder and childlike excitement to create. And all things live through you and come to you and are sown with you. And the sacred relationship begins because you acknowledge it. You allow it. You allow it to move through you. You communicate with sacred intent. You communicate with sacred movement and sound. And they're wanting me to play a little moment here, so allow yourselves to feel the sand and the soil beneath your feet here, dear lighted ones. As you feel Gaia and her sacred vibrations moving through us in this moment of now, through your feet, through the vortices of all that you are as a divine inner temple of light and energy field system of love and divine frequency. And you allow breath to bring you your sacred encodations that are meant just for you. And you create that void where stillness and creation is rebirthed in every moment of that still point. You pause. And you move down through your exhale, grounding all that you are through the sands and soils of Gaia. We're going to do some creating here quantumly. Exciting. And you visualize the pillar of light of all that you are, grounding within the sands and soils of Gaia, and you're communing and you're connecting with her heartbeat. And you feel the anchor of your chakras and pillar of light with her. And you're feeling the sacred communion and flow of breath through Gaia. You acknowledge your divine sacred mind, your divine higher self. You're acknowledging your divine sacred heart as your heart is open and Mother, Father, God living through you with breath, gifting you and nourishing you. And you feel yourself embodied in this beautiful flow of infinite and eternal breath and light language and quantum communication. And as you look at the beautiful symbol on your screen of the beautiful hummingbird with Vesica Pisces, over a Vesica Pisces, over a Vesica Pisces, and you are at the center of it all. You are the messenger to yourself, through yourself, for yourself. You are the messenger coming through space and time, dear lighted ones, allowing yourself to see how you are threaded through all things, how your soul threadings connect to all realms and all star worlds, for you are cosmic seed. You are divine God seed breathed through cosmic elements to create sacredly. And as the hummingbird sits before you, dear ones, create the sacred relationship of you being that hummingbird. And the eye of God being within the eye of God, being within the eye of God. And you're at the center of it all. And as we commune and entangle with fields of light and encodations opening for information beyond what can be seen, beyond what can be understood in this moment, dear ones, however, your quantum fields of play will gift you with what you need when you are ready. For we are activating you in a way, those that are ready, so that you may communicate and accept and allow, if you so desire, to heighten your vibrational understanding for sacred relationship, how you read information through your energy fields, through your multidimensional bodies. And as you take a breath, dear lighted ones, and as you feel the excitement within the center being of all that you are, the divine Joanna will inspire and infuse it with sound and tone, for this is her passion and excitement as well, and we must thread her through this engagement. And open your hearts to allow love and activations and sacred engagement if you so desire. For you are the hummingbird, you are the heartbeat, you are the pulse. Divine love flows in all ways, dear ones. And through sacred communication, through sacred relationship, we're explaining how Joanna sees sound, how I feel sound as Joanna. And I allow myself to drop within my divine sacred heart, and I allow the divine in me to entangle with the divine in all of you, now moments and future now moments. And I trust the intuitive flow, and I am gifted sometimes letters with lines, and I am gifted sometimes visions. I am sometimes just gifted an open heart just to create sound. And I trust creation, and all the higher selves of you are gifted exactly what you need when you need it. And it's the unconditional trust that we flow within, the unconditional love that we flow within in sacred communion and sacred communication. And as a sound is made from the divine sacred heart to allow Mother, Father, God to flow, thoughts of humanity, thoughts of loving family, beautiful emotional love flows through the vessel. Within each note, there is love sown. Within each note, there is universal communication with excitement and passion to remember. Within each note, there are limitless potentials of the you that exists in every now moment that you create. Sacred relationship can be your intentions of love, your intentions of profound, exciting experience that has yet to come forward to you, but you created in the moment. And so as I make sounds, I just have these beautiful intuitive thoughts and feelings and emotions of our sacred soul tribe, of future human families communing in peace and harmony, future human families communicating with sacred glyphs and sacred symbolisms and sacred cues, and this beautiful sacred relationship of humans, and all that is creating new spirals of evolution, new Vesica Pisces of creation. And each note is what it is from those thought forms of love and those emanations of love and those giftings just to be one with it, the sacred relationship with it. And each and every one of you has your potential to create with sound, with color, with artistry, even if you feel as if you've never touched a paintbrush before or a musical instrument before. We are offering you to in this moment that you are the alchemist of love, and you can begin your creative genius right here, right now, if you so desire, if you so choose, to see, to perceive, to experience, to imbue all that you are as your God self, and allow and surrender. You are the hummingbird. You are the center of the Vesica Pisces. There is divine heavenly messages from the moment that we got on our call today. And if you listen to it over and over and over, there will be emanations and frequencies and vibrations and particles gifted to you in new ways. For there are encodations and vibrations in all things. Your intention to be sacred with it, to experience yourself as sacred. I am a sacred, divine, loving being of light. Watch me glow. That creates that quantum experience that unfolds to you. You create your quantum experience. You create your quantum reality. You create your earthly reality. And why we said before that it was so very important for those of you who so desire to see yourself and experience yourself within heightened reality experiences, to see yourself creating in this way. I am a sacred master. I am a sacred light creator. Watch me glow. And this is how we can choose to spiral. And in this one glyph, and in this one crop circle, there's an infinite number of ways that we can read and interpret this beautiful hummingbird. Because to me, when I look at crop circles, what always offers to me, usually first, is a higher dimensional consciousness, and I'm just explaining how it feels to me in my field. is I'm immediately drawn for the circles. That's the first thing that I'm drawn within a crop circle, is the circles and the number of circles. And I take the vibration from there. Then I'm intuitively drawn with what that whole image feels to me. But for some reason, my consciousness, my multidimensional God consciousness, is usually attracted to the number of circles in the crop circle. I don't know why. I haven't fully, I don't fully go into the analyzing of it, because that's taking yourself out of that God self. I childlike ponder, but my childlike ponder and wonder always takes me to the number of circles, and I trust that, and I let the rest go. Because usually I'm gifted what I need in that moment. And if I look at this hummingbird glyph tomorrow, I'll be gifted a new sense of, they're showing me that I'm going to be gifted a new sense of interpretation and communication that builds on what I just experienced, what I just engaged with, my sacred engagement with this relationship of this information. And so I'm continually amping up, I'm continually spreading out, I'm continually expanding and evolving on this one glyph. And why we say, when you do your inner path work and you're creating that self-sacred time for your daily communion with the heavens and the Mother, Father, God, that you can doodle, begin to draw, begin to create with sound, begin to create with musical instruments, begin to create with painting and color, because you're building on your own creation of higher dimensional communication, because we all work with sacred geometry. Every shape we draw is a sacred symbol of communication. You're allowing the God to flow through you as you create that brush stroke. And if you understand this, if you know this, then you're creating with your beautiful sacred relationship in all things, and you're just allowing things to flow. You're not managing or organizing anything or making anything happen or trying to do anything. Everything flows through you, and it's that sacred relationship, because you're understanding your God consciousness, seeing through you, creating through you, because it is you. And if we go to the next image, this next image is a beautiful rock in Peru, and this beautiful rock image, and there's sunlight coming down, and there's communication going on with the rock as you see the sunlight that's being gifted there. And there's interpretations within that sacred rock communications as well. And so that's a lovely. And then this is a beautiful, the next image is called the moon rock. And the moon rock is, it's a beautiful, alchemic, what my interpretation of this rock is. There's other people's interpretations of it, but my interpretation of this is what tonal alchemy symbolizes. And there's 7 sections there, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 7 sections is the imbuing and the resonance of sacred tonal alchemy, and how we can create and we can carve and we can move and shift with the vibration consciousness of sound, with the vibration consciousness of thought and loving thought, with the consciousness of what you're intending, and the beautiful intent and the consciousness of Gaia, the rock consciousness, the water consciousness, the sound consciousness, the elemental consciousness. All of that is tonal alchemy, and how we can all choose to really create sacred play with this and in this way. And that's my own personal. And then we go back to the very first image, which is a lovely, beautiful Vesica Pisces, which allows us to truly understand the centered, the beautiful centeredness that we can create with breath. And you drop to your very center, which is the sphere of all that you are, that Mother, Father, God relationship, and that Vesica Pisces of you within the very middle. And those hands, again, holding on your divine sacred heart, and the hands are supporting that sphere, the Mother, Father, God hands, if you will, creation, the hands of creation. And the Vesica Pisces, the energies of all that you are, and the duality and the polarity. And again, today is number 12 day. But the oneness that we hold within all that we are. The oneness of all that we are, the oneness of all that we are emanated from and birthed from. And so how all of these things can be continuous stories and sacred stories of us with each other, because it is us. And how beautiful it is that we are the God aspect, seeing God, experiencing God, being God in that way, creating with God source, creating with God elements and sacred relationship, and what we know ourselves to be. And so thank you. And if you wanted to go to Tina's KCOR page, we do have a link up there that she's going to put. And for those that want to go to the KCR website. She's got a link, or you can just go to our website. We've got the link up there for our upcoming Japan workshop. And so for those of you who want to partake with us in the beautiful Japan workshop, and those of you that want to partake in beautiful frequencies of our workshop learning, I'm going to be there, I think, on the 14th to the 29th. And so those will be the days that I'll be there, and of course the time change. And the workshop links are on that page that Tina's got up there. So thank you so much. And if you check out the Crop Circle Connector, that website, they're great people who do a lot of work there, and they put up the most, anytime a crop circle comes out, they have the images up there. So feel free to, I connect with there often because it allows me to remember higher dimensional communications when I'm creating symbols of my own and when I'm looking to see what the Consciousness Collective has created. So I often go there, once a month or so, to see what's new and to create those sacred relationships with glyphs and with communications in that way. And each and every one of us can do that. Each and every one of us has the potential to create sacred relationship in this way. And how may you create? Because as again we said, what a glyph looks like and it allows you to experience and remember now is igniting you in a certain way. And it can change every moment that you evolve and shift through what you know to be true as your sacred relationship with you in all things, through all things. So wow, we've really taken ourselves out there and wild and beautiful ride today. So thank you. We have a few minutes left, a couple minutes left, 10 minutes left till the end of our show. So if anybody wants to send in a question, anybody wants to send in comments, everybody wants to send in anything that they want to question or ask today, we've got Tina there connecting with us for our messages. And just a reminder that we have, we're not going to be doing any live shows over the next couple of weeks or classes because I will be in Japan and I need to fully immerse myself into that offering and that experience. So I'll be taking a couple of weeks off of classes and private sessions and radio to immerse myself within my commitments with Japan. So I'm very happy and excited. I leave tomorrow morning. So that's going to be exciting. And we've also got our new website. I think Tina has the link also in the KCOR chat room there. Our new website is Universal Light Wisdom and Healing Centers. And it's being worked on, and we're hoping to have it launched on August 21st, which is the solar eclipse. And I'm really excited about this solar eclipse. This solar eclipse has really wonderful Leo energy and Aquarius energy. And this is about creating that courage and that divine forthrightness with who you are as your divine sacred being, and begin. It's really that Leo energy for me is about just beginning. And that's that tenacity that I have. And I found myself with in everything that I am passionate about and everything that I get excited about, because I am Taurus and I have Leo energies as well. And it's always about just beginning. And you might not have the answers or the details on how anything will unfold, and we're not supposed to. But to just act on your excitements and to just come forward and play. And today when we prepared, we had done a telesummit yesterday on sacred relationship. And so I had my notes about sacred relationship, but my team really wanted me to go forward and play in a new way today. And they were going to offer me with something new, which they did when we were doing that visualization of the mirror and understanding how we create in a quantum way, we create in an alchemic way. And how when we understand ourselves as creating moment for moment for moment, these sacred relationships, that is what is our reality. And that's going to be so important for these upcoming, really powerful, powerful energy undercurrents. Because you can either choose to get spiraling in all that what was and all that appears to be spiraling around you. Or you can choose to center within the Vesica Pisces, and you can choose to ground and balance and create refined, sacred mastery choice. Just thread yourself in new ways, to thread yourself in heightened ways, to create sacred sound, to create sacred art. And that communion begins. And that quantum interaction, that quantum intent, plus that quantum emotion, plus that quantum physical action, that is how manifestation is of your entire reality. And the higher self and the soul of you, the all that you are, the consciousness of all that you are, adores you and desires you to experience this awakening, this ascension, this transcension, so much so that in all moments you're created anew. And you're gifted DNA activations, you're gifted sound activations that go into your energy fields with vibrations that activate 2 or 3 days from now, or a month from now, or 3 months from now. It goes far beyond our understanding at this point, but we're getting there. And today is an example of how we can create with sacred geometry, with sacred shapes and glyphs that show up in all things. The beautiful the beautiful studies that have been done about water crystals and snowflakes, and how the intention, the beautiful sacred intention gifted to any one particle matters. It changes and shifts shape. It changes and shifts that reality of that particle, the intentions into it. And so too is the body, the vessel of you, that multidimensional vessel of you that stands in the mirror each day. And how are you allowing God flow through you? Are you seeing yourself as lovely? Are you seeing yourself as divinely beautiful? Are you seeing yourself as divinely sacred in how you commune with all things, with nature, with water, with soil, with sand? And how may we begin in every moment to create new light fields with Gaia, so that our reality is one of beauty, of harmony, of peace, of elegance, of higher dimensional wisdoms that come online in any moment. Because we're just so excited to be awake. We're so excited to feel love again. We're so excited to have our universal belonging offered to us once again from us. The sacred relationship is our relationship with us. Communion is always being offered. It's up to us to acknowledge it and to allow it and to accept it before it becomes tangible in our reality. And so, wow, incredible every time that we move forward in these offerings. And although it might seem like we've gifted a whole workshop just in this one show. So that's incredible. And so allow yourself to, really move within the information with a childlike wonder and excitement and joy. Don't analyze it or pick it apart or pull it apart. Allow yourself to truly soak within the love, to soak within the vibration, to soak within just the energy frequency of being sacred in this communion. Because when information and sacred dialogue is downloaded, and when you get it, it just comes to you. When I was in my beautiful passion and excitement to gift you information today and be in this sacred communion, they just offered the vision to me. And it came through. And so that's how all higher dimensional communications are really understood and allowed for us to put into practice, for us to use, for us to give back here on this reality. Because why this is so important, and we've only got 5 minutes, so we're going to say this before we close because it's really important. Why we're saying this is because this is how we create our earthly reality in the most divine and sacred way. Allow yourself to just create with wonder and ponder and allowance and sacredness. Act upon your excitement, act upon your joys. Go within and know that you are the center of that Vesica Pisces, and communion is always being offered. There are sacred moments in all things, through all things, and it's you. It's the God of you, imbuing, falling in love with, opening the door to, opening the gates to, offering the hands of, opening the heavens of, you. And how divine it is that we create these new potentials and possibilities so that we break through the love of all that we are and soak within it, swim within it, dance within it. How divine, dear lighted ones. And thank you in this beautiful number 84 show. And allow yourself to awaken to the symbols and synchronicities and cues and sacred shapes and sacred glyphs that flow through you over the next few days, because there will be a heightened sense of awareness. There will be a heightened sense of communication and how you're engaging with your reality, if you so desire. Your reality is engaging with you in every moment, and it's up to you to create that sacred infusion for it to become something different and something more loving and something colorful and something different, and however it may evolve. You're the one that gets to choose. You're the one that gets to create it. And so create with joy. Create with love. Create with your sacred intent to be you. Fully you. Own you. Acknowledge you. Embrace you. Love you. Nurture you. Nourish you. Gift yourself all the things that you need. For every aspect of creation is showing itself to you. It's you. Thank you, dear lighted ones. And this is Joanna for the Universal Light, Wisdom, and Healing Centers. This is Joanna for Universal Unity. This is Joanna for the infinite number of consciousness and beings that spark our imagination and our creativity and our hearts of fire as we align with the highest potentials of transformation that humanity has ever seen, that our beautiful Gaia has ever moved through. Allow yourself to play upon her soils. Allow yourself to play within her waters. Allow yourself to commune and engage and entangle with her as often as you can and as much as you can. For she requires our reciprocation. She requires our love and our giftings. She requires us to be in that sacred relationship with her so that we create anew. And this is truly an important concept for today's show. So please take that away and keep it tender within your hearts and think about those special things that we've said, because they truly are to be nourished and thought about and really imbued within your heart. And it will click and you'll create something beautiful from it because it's you. So thank you so much, dear lighted ones. As I embark to Japan tomorrow, your hearts and your souls and your beautiful offerings are with me in the skies and in the sands and the soils of Mount Fuji in Japan and Tokyo. And I will be there with my heart open and my blessings to move about with excitement and joy as the divine entangles through me. And my many blessings to each and every one of you for your divine hearts and your love in the soul tribe that we co-create together in every way. And know that my love and my adoration is with each and every one of you as you travel your unique paths to create here upon Gaia and here with Gaia. I love you dearly. This is Joanna. Namaste.
You've been listening to Universal Unity, New Earth Consciousness with Joanna L. Ross. Live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. To explore, empower, understand, inspire, and further connect with this higher state of consciousness, please visit universalunity.ca. For more information on the host, Joanna L. Ross, please visit her KCOR Digital Radio Network show page, Universal Unity, New Earth Consciousness. This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network. Broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51. Wait, that doesn't exist. This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.